Hello, happy Wednesday. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larissa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time. And here on this show, I share with you tips, tools, methods, techniques, inspiration, motivation, and my personal experience about how we can get success in all areas of our life, not only in our professional life or in business, but in all areas of our life, in our own inner stability, in our own inner peace, joyfulness, happiness, in our relationships, and everything that we create from that happy place, right? So today is my 52nd show. I am actually surprised at myself. To have that consistency and actually show up every Wednesday for you with different topics. And it is challenging every week. I'm taking myself out of the box and I'm here every Wednesday in front of you, trying to help you and share with you my own experiences and also knowledge along the way how you can be successful, happy, peaceful, joyful, and everything that life offers, right? I can see how a little bit of lag coming through this internet, I think, is playing around a little bit, but also my background is a little blurry. That's the new fashion, I guess, with live shows. But sorry if I'm a little bit kind of frozen for a moment. If that will be happening again, I probably will change the settings. Okay. So today, in my 52nd episode, I was thinking to share with you about self love. What does that mean? A lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstanding about self-love, what really this is. And of course, there's not a clear answer for this question. So self-love is the foundation from where we as a human beings can have a very full and vital experience of just being in the body and living bliss and living heaven on earth, right? But again, self-love have many types and many existence in our physical existence and our earthly plane, right? So and most of the different types of self-love is based on the matching of the consciousness or the maturity and immaturity of the soul. So basically, each of us have its own level of consciousness and also own level of how mature or how we immature in our developing of our soul, developing of our emotional self, right? The more mature the person, the more this person have ability for self-love. And if that person have ability for self-love, then that person automatically have a huge and deep ability to love others and everyone, right? So today, I want to cover a few different types of love that possibly can help you to identify where you at with your own level of maturity or immaturity in a way of growing and developing your emotional self, your psychological self, your spiritual self. So the first type is selfishness. This is the crudest form of self-love. Basically, the selfishness based on the perception of the self that is better than the other. That the person perceives itself from the light of being more clever, more mature, more intelligent, more healthier, more spiritual, or whatever. It's always more than the others or better than the others. And this type of self-love is very damaging for all, not only for the one that is deceiving himself or herself in believing in that, but also for all the people that this person come into contact with, because that untruth about self-love, being better than others, is very, very damaging, right? So because that belief based not on honesty and on total integrity. So this is the most harmful, I would say, type of self-love. And what we observing right now around the world, that our leadership, our highest leadership, is basically having this type of self-love, right? So this is the deceiving powers that showing us that they care about humanity, that they care about all the other people, and they basically creating this almost theatrical play of showing us that there's some sort of care, but really this is conduct of the outer actions and deeds are not genuine. So this is always comes from that self-admiration, self-importance, and that distorted place within themselves. So what it indicates to us is that we as a humanity as a whole still are in the infant state of development, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. So mentally we are all crooked because of the indoctrination and all the beliefs that we are being taught since our childhood, and then in our adulthood we still keep learning things that are almost deceiving us to distort everything that is that truth. And also truth and untruth, this is such a substance that if there's not really the total truth, and there's if there is total untruth, that's kind of easy to deal with. But what we are dealing here in our reality right now, it's a kind of this intertwining of the truth and untruth, and it's like this mixing of the truthful facts and information with a complete lie and untruthfulness. And that's where it is the most hardest to recognize what is the truth and what is not. And that's what our self-indulgent and selfish leaders around the world are using, because they really good at knowing psychology of human being, right? So this is the most hindering and the most harmful, the most damaging type of self-love can be expressed through our expression, right? So, and as we know, so the leadership is doing it. So we individually always and all or often can catch ourselves that we also have that part in ourselves that function and live and work from that selfish place. And the selfishness is a very interesting concept, because especially through the religion, we've been taught that to look after yourself or to love yourself is something wrong and very sinful. So that is really a very, very contradictive to the real truth, because we are selfish if we're not really loving ourselves. That's the truth, right? If we're not healthily loving ourselves, well, then we are living in a very, very selfish space, because then we harming, we damaging, we make people suffer, and we kind of thinking that because we constantly try to do good for others, because we want to feel good, we want to be looked at ourselves in a good good light, and also we waiting for other people to admire us, and we do anything to actually help others, and we neglect ourselves, and that really is the selfishness, because we can help others only when we can help ourselves first, and that really is the selfish act of not seeing it. So it's all perverted into a very, very different type of the explanation when we grow up. And that also creates a lot of guilt in people. So I would like to jump onto the second type of the self-love, which is feelings of inferiority and self-contempt, right? So stems from the rebellion attitude towards authority, and this kind of imply this attitude in life. It's like you hope to get something from life without even investing in it. You don't want to take risk, you don't want to be exposed, but you want all the good stuff come to your life. It's almost like the type of self I would say it's kind of almost cheating life, right? It's rejecting life in itself, because you just kind of want to have something without even trying to invest in what you want, right? So eventually, and that's what I believe a lot of businesses based on this concept of competition, basically. Looking at some disadvantages groups of people and create and wanting to have advantage at the cost of the disadvantage. I mean, it's like that kind of dynamics going on in business to lower the price and investment in a product or service, to actually deceive the clients and customers into buying something because they disadvantage in some sort of, because they don't have these things, right? So this is all very deep concepts to start to explore for each of us. And also in a business world, I think that there's the tendency right now, as everything is changing and collapsing, is to start to build businesses from that integrated place, from the place of that honesty, and explore areas, exploration of the inner place from where the business is created. So the times where there's deceiving kind of creations start to get be created, and then deceiving clients to buy only because they cheaply done, and you know what I mean. It's like that the people that want to have advantage from the disadvantage of others, it's almost like also breaking the natural law of living and functioning and doing things. So but again, we need to remember, the longer we do it, we do it to some extent, but then we start to notice and realize that even if we eventually have some advantages, gaining from someone who is disadvantaged, our brothers, sisters, or whoever, we come to the terms that we pay a higher price for that temporary advantage that we have from these actions, right? The third type of the self-love, based on the misconception that it is a sinful and a wrong. That's what I already mentioned. It is mostly come from this religious kind of dogmas that you are selfish, you're sinful if you really doing things and living your life for yourself. So this is really a complete lie and untruthfulness. And of course, when we start to realize that we need to love ourselves and live our truth, that can hurt people. Of course, it can hurt people, but it also can hurt us if we not to, right? So there's no really a clear formula for these things, but this is life itself. It flows through these situations on a daily basis, and it require and basically we need to make decisions every day, and making decisions is a prerequisite for a healthy life. So it is flow of itself, and if you weigh all of your choices with honesty to yourself and integrity with yourself, well, then you will find the way, and that way will be always good, regardless of who is feeling the pain in that situation, right? Because this pain, as I already mentioned in my other episode, is a soft pain. Because when the truth and integrity is revealed and someone is making decision to based on honesty and integrity and to self-love to yourself, well, then that if that imposes some pain to others, this pain is actually soft pain, and that make other person to think and to feel and see how they are sitting in this situation, right? So we basically make we do better service for ourselves and for others if we are totally sitting within our integrity and honesty, and within our healthy self-love, and we act and do things from that place. Well, it is for the benefit of all, right? So there's another very interesting type which I would like to discuss with you today. It's not all, this is only a short list, but uh, I wanted to concentrate on the one that is really very hardly discussed or understood. So it's the self-love in the form of wishing to punish another. It's because that comes from that place of undeveloped childhood consciousness. It is basically says, if you not do how I wish, then I'm going to punish you. We all probably went through that when we are children, when we have some sort of emotional pain from not having or receiving something that we wanted in a moment from whom we wanted. We wish that we go and die, either for we punish ourselves, or we wish that we do something harmful or bad so that our loved one feel punished, right? Feel not good. So this is really is the space where people need to start to understand that a lot of concept of punishing either yourself or others is really very fundamental in our development, because we can see how many people are developing and creating their own sickness, because punishment of your loved ones can really be expressed in a very hidden and subtle way. It doesn't really necessarily show up in our actions and deals, but it is more of an inner attitude, right? And through that inner attitude, we create unwellness and diseases in our bodies so that we can actually have love and kindness from people whom we would like to have it. It's like, it's like saying, look, I'm in my self-pity here, and it's because you didn't understand me, you didn't love me enough. And when people are in sickness and illness, well, then the loved ones seems like having kindness to them and looking after them, and that way a lot of people creating that sort of self-love, which is very, very harmful and distorted. I actually can remember I observed with my friend that passed away about 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. She only was she was only 62 years old. but through all her life experience, she tried to prove to others how good she is, but she didn't really receive the love that she expected from others to have. And then eventually she created a very serious disease like a diabetes, and she died from diabetes. But she was so happy being sick, laying in a deathbed in hospital, but for about 4 weeks, when everyone would come and visit her, that was a sense of happiness for her. She get what she wanted. She got attention from others, and she got love from others only when she created that disease, right? So there's many different ways of talking about self-love, but really it is a very serious you know space, an energetic space, in an emotional place, where we have to start to develop and strengthen our healthy self-love, because all of these four types that I described with you today is really very distorted. They look like they self-love, because it's really like you think about yourself and you act and behave for yourself. But what is really self-love uh, is honesty, integrity, self-exploration, self-examination in areas where you feel not in harmony and not in balance with yourself, not in center in yourself. So it's like that journey to self-awareness. That is self-love. Like for me, when I actually by myself got myself into the illness, and I can tell that I developed it out of not being loved, right? So this is unconscious desire to attract love through the disease. If I didn't feel loved being healthy, well, then I would like to have love being unhealthy. But in my case, I really quickly become aware of what I was doing unconsciously, and I turned that around and I took my power back again. And this is the expression of self-love, right? Yes, it created a lot of turmoil. It created a lot of wobbliness in my family. It created a lot of pain for my ex, probably, or some other people. But if I wouldn't do that, if I wouldn't express my self-love through this honest approach to myself, and knowing that I created that self-love from that distorted place of not enoughness, I would possibly die. Who knows if I wouldn't make these right decisions for myself. So this is really is this. There's no cut for everyone formula, because as I said, self-love and a healthy self-love is exists in a very mature soul. So we are all seems like immature at this stage, because looking at what we created collectively, of course there is individual people and persons that are reached that state, and they are living from that pure self-love and self-expression of this self-love through honesty, beautiful creations, through very fulfilled relationships, through all of this, helping others, all of these expressions that are within the natural law of do not harm yourself or others or the environment. Well, then this person reached that stage of maturity and in a healthy state of self-love. All the other different divergence from this healthy love is something that is not. And that's what I'm inviting you to start to investigate within yourself, start to examine and analyze where, in which situations your maybe your superiority start to kick in, or maybe guilt about looking after yourself more. So all of these emotions are indicators of you navigating and choosing self-love in the moment, right? And many confused and don't understand, of course, this concept. And uh, through intellect, it is not really going to help to understand, but through your emotions, you can. Of course, it's not harmful, or it's good to have the intellectual knowledge about that there's many, many different types of self-love exists, and how they are distorted and sickly or unhealthy. But also the most powerful space, the most powerful energetic inner attitude is a healthy self-love. And sometimes it creates pain, yes, for others or for yourself. And this is also always the choice. What do you choose? This is hard one, because in some cases we have to inflict some emotional pain to others just to love ourselves, and this is the choice. And if we don't inflict that pain on others, uh, standing in our truth, well, then we inflict that same pain for ourselves. So that's the choice. I would like to finalize today with just saying, keep exploring your own emotional self. This is your guidance. Every time you have negative emotion or painful emotion, or the painful of blame, anger, well, then this is the indication that your space of your inner attitude is still needs some healing and some purifying and some clarity. Only when we can choose this road of constantly watching ourselves and watching what we're doing, from what place we're doing, then we can recognize and accept and connect ourselves to the place that we are totally only us, masters of our own life. I would like to just say thank you. And there's a comments here, and Tatiana and MJ, thank you for being here. Yes, a good way to put everything that's happening outside of in around the world is the theater. It is a badly put theatrical play for us. I mean, some people are believing in this play. Possibly they just don't see how badly it is all assembled, but many people start to see that this is only theater. Yes, Tatiana, you, as one media personality put it, we live in two realities: official reality and reality. If you make your health and financial decision based on official reality, you will be hurt. Absolutely, because official reality is created in a way that it is harvesting your energy, harvesting everything that you create. Like you create values, it harvests it in the form of all forms, in the form of energy, in the form of your intellect, in the form of your creation, in the form of your values, right? So this is really needs to be recognized, accepted, and seen by others in order for us to create a real reality, which will be based on the natural law of do not harm, help, support, and love. And another tip is that if you didn't reach that state of self-love, the healthy state of self-love, well, then you cannot love the other to that same extent of the healthy love. Every love that you have with towards yourself, if it is distorted, if it is all unhealthy, if it is sickly, expressed in a way of manipulation or the victim, it is also is showing and expressed towards the others in the same way. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. And I'm gonna to celebrate today my little achievement, being online every week for the 52 weeks. It is 1 year exactly. So I'm kind of patting myself on the shoulder saying thank you. Thank you for showing up for myself and for you. Thank you for being able to step out of the comfort zone and being here, visible, expose myself in everything that I have. Thank you so much. And let's listen a little bit of music.